your life is going nowhere because your mind is filled with disbelief. You think you're not good enough, but here's the truth that you might not realize. You're actually in a good position to change your life forever. The problem is, you just don't see it yet. You don't know that being in this exact state of mind, feeling lost, uncertain, even broken, the perfect place to completely transform your life. But because you don't realize this, you stay stuck in the same place for months, years, or even decades. I am a 19-year-old who made my first $4,000 online through my online business, and it changed my life forever. You might be stuck in a career you hate, or you're constantly battling with yourself and you're trying to change that. Maybe you want to start a business, but you keep ending up back to the square one. Well, I know the problem you're currently experiencing. You don't need to follow all of these productivity tips and tricks. Just start building your life through self-improvement. And I'm here to tell you the truth. None of that surface level advice will truly move the needle in your life. So in this video, I'm going to explain to you how to change your life forever in the next 6 to 12 months. So you're gonna do hard work every single day and make progress in the next 6 to 12 months. And so now, let's dive in. You are in a state of procrastination, and most of the time, your mind is bored and you're constantly looking for something to do. You don't have one solid thing to focus on that brings you deep fulfillment because you've gotten used to overstimulating activities. Remember when you wake up in the morning, you scroll through Instagram. Before going to work, you scroll through Instagram. While you are at office, you scroll through Instagram. This is the first problem you need to be aware of. Let's say you are sick. The solution is not consuming medicine. You need to first understand the root cause of the issue, and then with the right medicine, you will recover faster. So the first step is recognizing the problem. Let's say you want to get the work done, but your mind keeps urging you to grab that cell phone and start scrolling. You gotta pause for a moment and realize, is this something that I want to do? Don't just mindlessly follow what you want to do, because maybe what you need to do is not what you want to do. Because if you keep following your mind without questioning, you won't truly change your life even if you try to force yourself. The real issue is that your mind is trapped in a procrastination loop. That's why you end up following that thoughts and turn that into reality. It is better to do nothing for 10 minutes than to mindlessly do what your mind suggests. It is better to step back from reality, become aware of your thoughts, and process them. You've been procrastinating and reinforcing bad habits for years. That's why it feels impossible for you to start forcing good habits. Just take a step back and aware of this problem first. And maybe what you've really craving is those dopamine hits. You need to become aware of that craving and recognize that feeling is good, but it is something that is bad. Remember, the goal is to understand the problem, not to mindlessly ask a doctor what medicine you should take. Remember when you were a kid, solving puzzles or math problems. Your mind struggled to grasp these new things. Maybe it took you hours to just solve simple math problems like 1 plus 1 equals 2. But now, you can solve it within 1 second. And that is what I call the process of finding solutions. Once you become aware of the problem, your mind starts working on it. Even when you don't realize it, you suddenly get a brilliant idea to solve something you've been stuck on. Maybe you've been procrastinating for months to start making content on social media. Now that you are aware of it, your mind is trying to find the solution. And the best place to start finding the answers is on the internet. If you can consume content on social media to fit your addiction, you can also consume content to solve your real-life problems. But most of what you consume is junk. That is why your mind still doesn't know what is the solution. You know, you should watch Andrew Huberman podcast on how to build good habits, maintain a routine, and start dopamine fasting. But instead, you choose to watch Mr. Beast's video. If you're not consciously looking for the solution, no one is going to show up and give you the solutions. You have to search for them yourself by watching useful content, reading books, and drawing your own conclusions from what you consume. That is why, if you consume trash, you will think like trash and you will act
like trust. Just be intentional about what you consume on social media, and that is how you find the solutions, not blindly following what others say, but by watching, thinking, and concluding for yourself. Now you have found the solution, and your mind is actively trying to solve the problem. It might take weeks, months, or even years to know what you need to do, but when you're aware of the problem, you know the solution. You don't know the exact step by step to solve that problem. Do you know what is the reason? Because you consume content from 10 different YouTubers at once. And of course, each of them share different advice, different values, and different perspectives. You need to choose just one, the one that resonates with you the most. Because deep down, you already know that most of the content you consume online won't bring you the results. You need to filter out the noise and extract the best information possible. That's when you move beyond just being a passive content consumer. You begin to develop self-awareness. Be aware that most content online is made for entertainment. It won't necessarily lead to real-life results. Even productivity content out there won't help you to solve your problems. You can tell if these people randomly promoting these productivity apps or these productivity tactics, they don't truly want to solve your problems. They care about profit from the video. You need to be aware of these fake gurus trying to sell you courses that will change your life forever, because many of them are good at marketing and sales. They are good at influencing person like you, but that doesn't mean they are good at solving your problems. So what you can do now is you need to create your own strategy instead of blindly following everything you see online. So for example, from Monday to Friday, I'm going to lift weights first thing in the morning. On weekends, I'll take a step back and do a 48-hour dopamine detox. For the next 6 months, I will learn about business daily and create content every day to solve real problems. If you don't have a clear strategy, it's usually because you don't have the urge to solve their problems. But I believe deep down, everyone already knows what they need to do. It's just that it goes against our nature. We crave safety and comfort. You need to break past the barrier of comfort and challenge yourself every single day. That's how real progress begins, by stepping on the gas. So if you want to learn more about this, you can join my newsletter. I share my lessons every single week about focus and productivity and what I've found from research and journals. So join my newsletter, link in the description below. Once you know your strategy and identify the non-negotiables, you will realize that none of this matters if you don't take the action. You've probably heard it thousands of times, but most these YouTubers, influencers saying that they don't really know what actions they need to take, and they truly don't know the problems you're currently experiencing. They're just repeating what everyone says because it sounds good and motivational. But for you to create a daily strategy and work consistently, it might take weeks or even months to find the sweet spot, to know what action you need to take. That is why it is better to focus on building the foundation first instead of rushing into it without seeing the bigger picture. Let's say you want to start doing hard work like making content on social media. Now your mind is overwhelmed. Should I learn video editing or copywriting? What platform should I post on? You don't have the strategy yet. That's why you're not seeing progress. So don't overthink it. Make it as simple as possible. Record one long-form video about what you've learned over the past few years lifting weights. If you are a 4.0 GPA student, you can share how you study every single day, the specific tactics you use to study effectively and get better results. If you work in high-level finance, you could talk about how you build connections and take that opportunity and share the exact step-by-step guide on how they can do the same thing. Don't stress about niche, just start. You will figure it out along the way. When I started posting content, I talk about everything: self-improvement, fitness, stoicism, habits, productivity, and focus. But now I know what I'm good at, and I stopped making content that doesn't get traction. So the first step to taking action is simple. Don't overthink the results, because deep down, you know it takes months or years to see even small results. In my first year of creating content on YouTube, I learned so much about copywriting, thumbnail design, video editing, speaking, marketing and sales. I didn't know about these things before, but now I know how crucial these skills to make good content. Because no matter how hard you work, if you can't communicate your solution clearly and effectively, people simply won't care. You're going to face hundreds or even thousands of failures before you hit your first win, and that is okay. Failure is inevitable. So the best thing you can do is experience it as fast as possible. Try making different types of content every day. You can talk about different topics, experiment with different editing styles, speaking tones, and even your overall content aesthetic. And this strategy doesn't just apply to content creation. If you're starting a marketing agency, for example, you will have hundreds of things to figure out, from cold outreach, how to make people book an appointment with you, how to deliver your service, and other small things that you don't aware. But the principles stay the same. Fail fast, learn faster. And you gotta show up daily and do this every single day. You got to remind yourself every single day that you are not there yet and push yourself to the next level. If you scroll down and watch my first video on this channel, you will see how much progress I've made. I learned basically everything from copywriting, how to set up a camera, how to talk to a camera, and how to make thumbnails, titles. But I'm still learning every day. Don't stop and say, this isn't working for me. This is the time to fail thousands of times before you hit your first win. Remind yourself, this is just the beginning. You've got so much things to do. So here's how to reprogram your mind in exact step-by-step guide using AI. You can use the prompt that I will share you in top of the comment. Also, you can do practice with me. So you can open up ChatGPT and write this prompt. If I were my future self making hundreds of thousands of dollars through my business, helping people solve their problems and living my ideal life in places like Dubai, Thailand, or Bali, what would my daily life look like? My life consists of training, working, and solving meaningful problems. So the first question is, what is the exact daily routine this future version of me follows? Starting from the moment I wake up, what are the habits he practices every day? And why does he do them? What are his core beliefs when it comes to health, wealth, and relationships? Break them down clearly so you can hit enter and you will get the results. So based on the prompts you send to ChatGPT, you know what you need to do. You got the exact daily routine from the moment you wake up until the moment you sleep. And this is good for you. And now you know what you need to do. You gotta wake up early, do the deep work, exercise, or even doing coaching calls. And I recommend you to write down these beliefs so that you can remind yourself every single day so you're no longer procrastinating and stuck in a rut. So you can spend the next 1 to 2 hours chatting with this AI. Ask them about the daily routine you need to take, the beliefs and the work ethic that requires to change your life forever. Pause this video and do the exercise. These are the exact questions I ask AI every time I feel distracted or lost. This practice worked for me, and I believe this will work for you, because you don't need just another vague motivational line like do the hard work. You need clarity on what hard work actually looks like. You could spend months or even years doing hard work and barely get results. Or you could spend one focused week and make your own strategy. So then you no longer procrastinate, you no longer stuck in a rut, and you actually make progress. And you know the difference, it is strategy. And don't blindly follow your friends or your family tell you what you need to do, especially if they are not more successful than you. That is why you need an objective point of view. AI is the most unbiased tool you can use to gain clarity and build your path. And by the way, I teach this lesson inside my program where I help you to develop your focus so that productivity is no longer your problem. And now you can start working on what truly matters. My students Sakat and Paulo changed their life forever. They are now making money online from their business. So if you want to work with me one-on-one, click the first link in the description below. You know, there will be days when you're stuck and not making progress. You don't feel the same motivation as the start of your journey. The problem is that you haven't trained yourself to seek specific knowledge. I experienced this in my content. When I stopped learning about copywriting, thumbnail design, or video editing, I get average results, low views, average quality videos, and zero fulfillment in my work. Even just 1 hour watching other people content and analyzing why they speak this way, how they structure their script so that they can deliver the step-by-step guide to solve the problems. Remind yourself that whenever you don't seek specific knowledge, you won't get better results because you will remain stagnant. So if you don't have money to buy for a course or pay a mentor, just start by reading books or even watching YouTube videos. Take some notes whenever you watch content on social media. And this is what I do. I still do it every single day. I've realized that once I stop doing this, my content suffers. There's not much traction and I feel less fulfilled for my work. And this is crucial. Learn specific knowledge. This is how you gain an unfair advantage and start making huge progress in your work. It can be about productivity. You read the latest journal on flow state. You experiment with it and you make your own conclusions. That is why you've got to focus on learning specific knowledge. You will start making progress once you stop learning. It's like muscles. If you don't train them, they will get smaller over time. And your mind is like muscles. You've got to train it every single day by learning new knowledge from the internet. Read books on specific topic like flow state, self-image, or even leadership. You might think it is just a waste of time because you know 90% of the information. But if you gain 1% of new knowledge, it can actually lead you to better results. Let's say you start learning about productivity. You know you need to do deep work every day. Then you read a journal that explains how context switching decreases productivity and that it takes on average 30 minutes to regain focus after switching tasks. With this new information, you realize that if you have the urge to open up your social media, you are already losing focus and it takes 30 minutes to gain back to the focus state even if you don't consciously know the results. This is why it is important to lower your ego and keep learning every single day. Don't have a fixed mindset that you know everything in life because your life over the past 5 years hasn't changed, and maybe you gotta lower your ego and learn from others more successful than you. Always learn, whether through books, journals, or even content on social media. Dedicate 1 hour a day to reading books, journals, or taking notes from your favorite podcasts. Do this every day, and over time, you will gain more and more knowledge. It will compound, and before you know it, you will have the knowledge that most people don't. And you can share that knowledge through your content, and this creates a flywheel effect. The more you learn about something, the more you share about it, the more traction you gain from your content, and the more money you make. So it is crucial to lower your ego and learn from other people so that you keep making progress in life. Every successful person knows that success comes with failures. In life, you will suffer either way. You suffer from doing hard work and getting results afterward, or you suffer in the long term by not putting in the hard work in the present. That is why it doesn't matter if you are rich or broke, you've got to take risks because there's no other choice. This is why you should never focus solely on the numbers, and instead, you should focus on the development of your skills and experience. You push through resistance every time you experience setbacks. You keep going because you know that is the only way to solve the problem. And remember, if you quit, all of progress you've made so far is meaningless. You're basically wasting your time, energy, and your effort. You don't want to quit early and then watch other people succeed doing the same thing you've been doing. You want to keep going, even if it means experiencing failures during the first few years. Eventually, you will get what you want in life. Just remember, success comes after thousands of failures. You've got to sail your boat even if a storm is coming. The worst thing you can do is quit. I've seen people quit on the first year of business, even my friends in high school. I know it is hard to get results in life. You don't see immediate progress and you will experience some lag. This is the period where most people think it is the best time to quit. But what if after that period of failures, you achieve what you want? Because we never know what will happen in the future. We just do the hard work and prepare for the opportunity. When it comes, you take it and capitalize on it. Now you have the exact steps on how to do it. It's time for you to take this knowledge and use it. There is no more time to wait because you know that you want to make fast results. You don't want to be in the same position in the next 5 years from now. This is why you've got to take action, take the knowledge from this video and actually practicing it. since I've practiced the 5 steps I've shared in this video and constantly remind myself to stay in a student mindset and understand that success comes from failures, I've noticed a huge improvement in my life over the past 3 years. I went from being just a random 17-year-old high school graduate to now an entrepreneur who make content on focus and productivity and help people to solve their problems. My self-image is completely different from what it was 3 years ago. I've made huge progress financially, physically, and mentally. So if you want to get the same results, I've created a one-on-one program to help transform your life using my frameworks that will improve your focus and productivity. This is how Sakat and Paulo, my students inside my program, has transformed their life forever. They no longer procrastinate and they apply the principles that I taught inside my program. And now they're making money from their online business. So click the first link in the description below. And don't forget to grab my $1 ebook link in the description below. And enjoy the rest of your day. Bye bye.